Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's training. Today, we're going to be covering how to create a house point. So when first logging into a client profile, you will see the summary, the client profile, and the household tab. We're going to go to the household tab. So before sitting down to do this, you really want to make sure to have all of the household members' information at your disposal. So making sure that you have the people's names and ages and or date of births and social security numbers when adding in a household, so you can fill those data fields in as you add members. Also, you need to create a household when there's more than one member in the household. So if you have a couple, two adults, or you have a parent and an adult child, or you're going to have two parents, any kind of household makeup where there's more than one person, that's when you're going to add or create a household. So when going to the household tab, you're going to start a new household. One thing to note is when you go onto the client page, make sure that they're not involved in any previous households. So make sure that they're not also engaged in another household somewhere else within the system. And we'll talk a little bit later in another training about how to edit and change households. So for today's purposes, we're going to start a new household. When first clicking on starting a new household, you really want to select the household type. So you have a variety of different household types to choose from: couple with no children, female single parent, foster parents, grandparents and child, male single parent, non-custodial caregiver, other, or two-parent family. So you really want to choose one of these. Other should really be a last resort when selecting a household type. So for today, we're going to do female single parent. And then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to search. It comes up with the client search. We're going to search for the second person who's in the household. So for Angela's sake, we're going to search for her child, Robert. You can see that when searching for the child, the last name comes up automatically as the same as the first person you're entering. So that could be different. So Robert's last name might be Jones, so you would change that. You're going to also select the name data qualities as the full name, an alias if they have a nickname, if there's an alias or another name that they're known by, social security number. Hopefully you have the full social security number. If you only have a partial, enter that. If you don't have a social security number at all, please make sure to leave that blank. Don't fill it in with all zeros. And then if this person is a child, so they're under the age of 18, you do not have to select the U.S. military veteran status, just leave it as select. If this person is over 18, you're going to answer this question, whether or not they've ever served the United States military, yes or no. And then you're going to search. You always have to search for a client before adding it to the system itself. So we did a quick search. You can see a note here in the client results section. There is no client that popped up with this personal identifying information. So we're going to add a new client with this information. You'll get a warning asking you, are you sure you really want to add this new client to the system? Be sure to look through all the possible matches if any came up before continuing. Do you want to continue with add a new client? You're going to click OK. Once that happens, you can see the selected clients come up. So as your household members, as your household members continue, so if you have a third household member, you would clear this search. You would enter your third household member's name. And information. You might not have a social security number. If this is a child, you would search. You could see with this one, client results came up, but this is not the same person. Is up here. I'm going to add a new client with this information. Yes, I'm sure. And now you have your 3 people in your household. Next, you're going to click Continue. And you'll have a household information box pop up with the 3 people who are in your household. The next thing you're going to want to do is select who the head of household is. So this household is a female single parent. So Angela is the primary parent, so she would be identified as the head of household. So you're going to ask yourself, so for Robert, what is Robert's relationship to Angela? So Robert would be her son. And then who is Amy's relationship to Angela? She would be her daughter. So we're going to add that information. If you note, today's date would be the date that they joined the household. Previous associations is if they've had previous households they've been involved in the system. And then the household count column is how many households are they currently involved with. So you really want that number to be 1. You can see for these 3 clients, it's all 1, so that's good. As you move down, you can see that there are sometimes there are assessments that are associated with this section as far as households, and you can edit this information. So obviously you see we have Angela here, but you can also click independently through these 3 clients. So Amy Smith, so maybe Amy Smith, you sit down with the parent and you find out what Amy's social security number is, and you decide to enter that. Making sure to answer the social security data quality, and then military veteran status if this person is over the age of 18, and then you're going to save. And the same thing with Robert. So if Robert was missing information in this client household assessment, you could fill this in here as well. This does not take the place of the entry-exit assessment information. It's just another way to enter data into the system for household members when creating or editing households. So once you're finished with that, you save and exit, and now you have created a new household in Service Point.